Okay, welcome everybody to our Monday call. Today we have a very special guest. Robert Butwin is a multi-level marketing Hall of Famer, and he's a best-selling author. The book is Street Smart Networking. I can't wait to read it, Robert. And so let's begin. Francis, would you like to go ahead and begin talking with Robert?
I'd love to. I've only been talking to him for about a third of a century. If you're lucky enough to have a friend like Robert Butwin, the sun is shining on you, because when Robert's your friend, he's really your friend. And I remember, through the years, how many times that we supported each other and stuff. And when Robert loves and cares about you, he's very unconditional about it. He's not attached to it. He just does it because he's like one of your favorite uncles or something, He's one of those kind of people, when he comes to visit you, he has like a truckload of gifts and just a remarkable husband, remarkable dad, remarkable grandfather, and, an iconic builder in network marketing. And you're going to be a little surprised as you meet him, guys, because he's not a rah-rah person. He's not an ego person. He's a very humble, soft-spoken guy that really knows relationships and how to build companies in this industry. So, Robert, why don't you say hello?
Super. Hello. Glad to be here. Glad to be able to hopefully share some insight, wisdom in a way that will help people accelerate their success, maybe take, or hopefully take their business to the next level.
Thank you, Robert. If anybody can help people do that, Robert's also consulted companies. He's coached very substantial distributors. He's earned his respect through the industry, and I'm delighted to have him on the call, but even more delighted to have him as a friend for, Robert, a third of a century. Could that be true?
It is, definitely. I can't believe I've been in this profession that long. Actually, I'm really grateful that I found this profession, that somebody opened the door and shared with me what this is about. Unfortunately, and as you know my story, when I originally started off, I ended up how I could create a tremendous amount of debt, but I saw what this business was about, and I'm glad I stuck to it, and it's been just phenomenal. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I like to focus on the greatness that this business is about.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. In the 33 years plus I know Robert, you will very, very, very rarely ever hear him say a negative thing. He just knows how to process things and move on. And there's a great example of leadership, because you can't be mired and stuck in the past. And he just moves forward with a lot of grace, with his amazing and wonderful wife, Bonnie, who is just a lot of fun. And she's another person who just likes to stay focused and she puts her blinders on for their goals and takes a bunch of people with them whenever he succeeds. So, Robert, you're really a master prospector. Let's give some of these people tips on how to really prospect.
I'm happy to give people tips. And one of the first tips, and I think people really need to get clear before they start taking a look at prospecting. And I'll get into prospecting because I believe the whole thing is about the law of attraction. I came up with the 5 A's of the law of attraction, which I'll get into in a little bit. But, if you understand your why, it was like when I started off, I made a decision that I was going to be successful. I wasn't necessarily an overnight success, but I think 95% of what we do in this business is our mindset. The other 5% is the strategies, the how-tos, which I can give you a lot of those how-tos about how to prospect, but you need to get clear on why you're doing what you're doing. It's got to go beyond the money, because obviously money is just paper, and that's only going to get you so far. But it's what is your real reason in doing the things you're doing, because that has an impact when you are prospecting, when you're communicating with people. I mean, I see so many people that are making so, different errors in prospecting. For example, one of the guys that I was connecting with today, and it must be, I guess it's an anniversary. And so a lot of people on LinkedIn, and I've sort of balanced online, offline. And now with everything that's going on, it's more online, but I've got 29,000 plus people on LinkedIn. And so this guy reached out to me, and it's amazing how many people think they're going to do business without ever connecting with a person, without ever having a conversation with a person. But, they're just in a state of error. They just don't know they don't know. And I get that. It is what it is. So this guy, congratulated me because I guess it was the anniversary. My company is Success Strategists, Simple Skills at Work. And what I try to always do is take the complex and simplify it, be it prospecting, whatever we do in this business. And there's many different aspects. So he reached out to me and congratulated me. And so I sent him a real nice copy and paste message that I create because I like to simplify things. And it said something like, I appreciate it. And I sort of like invited him to have a friendly conversation. I told him I'm a connector, I'm a collaborator. I've got 29,000 people on LinkedIn. And so his response was, because when I'm prospecting, I don't pitch. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're looking to prospect. They go into a presentation before they do the exploration. If you do the proper exploration, understand where that person is, they're going to give you a roadmap of how you can do the presentation when it's time to segue into that communication. So, I'm looking at when I'm prospecting, or I'm looking at finding information about the person, because see, I know that I've got a gift that I can help that person change their life if they're serious, serious to the point that they want to change their life. I liked Jim Rohn when he said, Jim Rohn, the Herbalife, many people don't realize Herbalife paid him $1 million a year more not to speak in front of any other network marketing company. Forgetting what he's being paid, they didn't want him speaking in front of any other network marketing company. But one of the things that he responded when people responded to the button that the people at Herbalife used to wear, I think it was one of them was lose weight, now ask me how, is his response was, are you serious? Do you seriously want to know? I mean, when we're prospecting, we're looking for people that are serious of wanting to change their life. Because if you realize you've got the power that you can help somebody make those changes if they're serious. But unfortunately, most people are not serious. And that's why it's so important to do the proper exploration, connect with the person, understand the person. And I believe right now, based on what's going on in the world, it's no better time than ever before to meet new people, because there's a lot of people that are in fear. They don't know what's going to be the new normal. I mean, it's like I say, my crystal ball is clear, but it's not crystal clear. I don't know what the new normal is going to be, but I know that based on what's going on, I see greatness coming out of what's happening. I don't focus on the fear that unfortunately a lot of other people have. So when it's prospecting, when it's, when I'm looking to attract people, I'm looking to make that person's connection. The reason I'm prospecting is I understand my why. When I originally started off, I knew that I wanted to be successful. In my mind, what success was. I wanted to get away from our family business. Now, everybody's got different things of why they're doing what they're doing, and it's becoming clear of what really drives you, because then you're going to be more effective. I try to, in everything that I do, I try to guide people to information. It's like I said in my book, you want to create interdependent, not codependent relationships. So when it comes to why, and there's so much information out there that we can guide people to for free. When I started off, I had to pay for that information. For example, you got Simon Simonek. He wrote a great book. You can get it on YouTube for free. And he helps you get clarity about why you're doing what you're doing. Or if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to suggest to them that for things to change, they need to change, and they're starting to get some kind of resistance. There's a great book out called Who Moved My Cheese? And you can get the movie of Who Moved My Cheese on YouTube for free. And you can copy and paste and send it to them. And it's a great helping people understand how they deal with change. For those of you that might not have seen it, it's about four people going through the maze of life, two mouse, Skim and Scurry, and two miniature human beings, Hem and Ha. And they're looking for their cheese, their utopia. And ultimately, over a period of time, they find it. And, unfortunately, like many other people, they settled. They settled on the fact that they knew exactly where the food was. They, went to it each and every day. And ultimately, over a period of time, it became stale. They ran out of the cheese. And Skim and Scurry got back into the maze of life and went out searching for more cheese. But the human beings, with the advanced brain, supposedly, sat back and pondered and played the victim role and tried to figure out why what was happening is happening to them. But the bottom line is, as we're taking a look, as we're developing relationships, people are always judging based on how you interact with them. Can they do what you're doing? And that's why I sort of guide people to information so that I can create interdependent, not codependent relationships. Unfortunately, quite often people focus on and figure they got to handhold everybody, and I'm looking for people as in prospecting that are serious, that want to make the changes necessary, because again, I'm always branding myself, and we all represent a brand. Whatever company we represent, we know how great the product is. Those are given. If you didn't have a great company that you represent, if the company didn't have great product, there is no opportunity. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to shift people's perception. Their perception is their reality. The root of the word perception is precept. It's their fixed idea of what they think it is. Quite often people think it's about trying to have to sell products to people. No, it's about how we influence people. Now, can you learn the skill sets that you can master the aspect of influence? Definitely. You can go to YouTube again, and you can go look at Robert Cialdini's work. He wrote a book 30 some years ago about influence, and he really nailed the key aspects of influence. But, you want to be, position yourself as that trusted advisor, as somebody that can guide them to create the success that they're looking for. And sometimes people don't even know that they're looking for success. But, because most people unfortunately settle. They settle for less than they could accomplish. They become complacent, whatever the reason is. And the more that we are able to help them understand that we're a trusted advisor, we've got the power to help them shift if they're open to make, the shifts necessary. And that we've got a systematic way to do that. Whatever your system is, once they've raised their hand and says, yeah, I'm interested, I'm open, I want to do that. And that's really what we're selling to people. Can they do it? Well, everybody that I know can do this business. The other thing we're selling to them is, will you help them? Well, the business model, and see, I believe that if people really understood what this business model was or is, everybody would be involved in this business. The only reason they're not involved in the business is their perception. They don't understand it. Their perception is their reality. The people that are super achievers can shift perception. They can help them understand that, what this business model is. And I love the MLM, what that means is making love more, making lots of money, or making life meaningful. You can take it whatever way you want it. But to me, it's about making life meaningful. It's a leveraged business model that you've got a vested interest to help somebody else succeed. That's all this business is about. And so the point is, how are you going to help somebody succeed? Once you own that, your prospecting becomes easy. The how-tos become easy. I mean, I could give you the magic words, and they're 5 simple magic words. And by the way, you can get these from Big Al. That's where I learned them from. 5 simple magic words, or 3 simple magic words. He breaks it down, the complexity into simplicity. You know, those 5 magic words. Would you like to know? Would you like to know what those 5 magic words are? You know, again, would you like to know? Those are the 5 words. Would you like to know how you can change your energy? Would you like to know how you can thrive in a pandemic? Would you like to know whatever, you know, it segues into the question that you ask. I'm just curious, are 3 other magic words. I mean, it's easy to figure out how to connect with a human being, you know, but unfortunately we all get conditioned. You know, if you've had parents that were anything like my parents, which was don't talk to strangers. Well, that was to protect us back then before we were logical and had the insights and wisdoms. And now I'm telling you, you can make a fortune turning strangers into friends. So, you know, prospecting is about how we attract people that are the right kind of people that you want to be working with and working for in a way that will help them. You know, again, sometimes we got to shake this business up. You know, people think that if I get you into my business, I'm going to make money off of you. No, that's not what this business is about. I'm going to work for you to help you change your life. You know, it's how we shift what's going on in the other person's mind. And the more effective you get, and you can, you know, we've all got the ability to attract or find the, you know, the skills necessary that will allow us to create whatever level of success that we want. One of the mindsets that I had back when I started off, and I still have today, if others could do it, so can I. If other people can make $50,000 a month, so can I. If other people can make $100,000 a month, so can I. I can figure out what I need to do. But it's just about finding a few people and working effectively through the people that you attract. You know, I mentioned about the law of attraction, the 5 A's in the law of attraction. I'll real simplify them. You know, because what The Secret did, and I came up with this, you know, a long time ago. But what The Secret did, it brought to the consciousness level that we can attract whatever we want to attract into our life. So, you know, what it didn't do is it didn't give us an action plan of how to do that. So I came up with the 5 A's of law of attraction. The first A is aware of whatever it is that you really want. You want the right business partners. You want to lose them X amount of weight. You want the right life partner. It doesn't matter. You've got to be aware of what it is that you want. The second A is the affirmations necessary. And the reason why I talk about affirmations, visualizations, meditation, whatever you want to take a look at it, is because unfortunately, most of us get in the habit, even if we think we're a positive thinker, and I know I'm a positive thinker, there are certain little things that we have this self-doubt that we don't even realize when we're talking to ourselves sometimes. So you want to affirm, you know, affirm what it is that you really want. The third A is accept the changes necessary. You need to accept the things that you need to change in relationship to what it is that you're looking to attract. You know, if you're looking to make big money and you only talk to one person a day, chances are you're probably not going to accomplish your goal. I was talking to a CEO of another network marketing company that paid me some money to do some consulting with them. And, you know, I had a conversation last night and I asked him how things are going, and he gave me a bunch of reasons of why it really wasn't going the way he wanted. You know, see, there's 2 R's. There's reasons and results. You know, all reasons work. So he starts giving me some reasons. I said, send me the video so I can see what you've done, so I can see if I can help you. He told me he was going to send it to me. It's been already 24 hours. I still haven't gotten the video. Again, there's reasons or results. You know, all reasons work. So you got to accept the changes necessary that will allow you to get what you want, is the third A. The fourth A is the actions necessary. You know, what are the activities that you're doing? You know, this business is about talking to people, connecting with people, finding people that want to change their life. And then the fifth A, which is probably the most important of all the 5, is the attitude of gratitude. Are you grateful for where you are as you're going to where you or what you want to attract into your life? And, you know, that's really a tough one for people. And what I suggest for people to do, and you can start with 3, you know, and if you're really brave and bold, you can go to 10, but Create a list of 3 things right now that you're grateful for in your life. Just 3. And after you got those 3 things down, create a list of 3 things that you're going to be grateful for in the future when you attract it into your life. Simple exercise, because that starts visualizing or finalizing the whole aspect of the law of attraction. So, as far as prospecting, it's talking to people, it's connecting with people, it's continually doing that until you find the right people. One of the stories I like to talk about, it's like, I want you to visualize for a second that there's this large sandbox right in front of us. And I've got a diamond, and I bury the diamond in the sandbox. And I give you a flour sifter. And I ask you to take a sift of the sand and sift it through and see if you found the diamond. And so you do that. And you didn't get the diamond. The question I ask you now is, would you take another sift of sand? Chances are you would. The reason why, there's a diamond in the sandbox, and it's yours if you find it. Can you find 1 or 2 or 3 people based on your compensation plan that will allow you, that you can work with and help them change their life, that will allow you to create anything and everything that you want in your life? I don't know that answer.
Robert, that's tremendous. That is a tremendous metaphor. Wow. I've never heard you say that. And like I said, we know each other a long time. That's a brilliant, brilliant metaphor. I think everybody on this call is just thrilled to have you on with your wisdom. I will tell you, through the years, as I've seen you in different companies walk through the hallways, there's almost everybody who sees you comes over and hugs you and gives you a lot of love. And all you do is you just share wisdom with no fanfare. You're not trying to look to be on stage. If you're called on, you go on, but you don't try to do that. And I think that's a really big team building asset. If you are kind of finished with your tips on recruiting, what about team building? Because you've built some pretty big teams in your life.
And I have, and there's similarities and differences over the years. The similarities, it's all about people. I love the acronym of TEAM, which is Together Everybody Achieves Miracles. It's like you're looking to find the people that you like, that are serious about making a change in their life, that you want to work with. Again, I started to talk about, you want to create interdependent, not codependent. You always want people to realize you've got their best interest at heart. It's not about you. It's about what you can do to be a servant leader. I've had to get rid of my ego a long time ago. My ego's healthy, but I'm confident in who I am. But as far as teams, I work with the people that show up, that show me by their actions that their actions are consistent with what they tell me they want. And if they're not, I'm never going to abandon a person. There's one guy that you met a while back in Dallas. I've been working with him for 15, 20 years, and he's never accomplished the success that he wants, or that he says that he wants. Different people have different things that they're going through. So when you're looking at developing a team, I just try to, focus on it. A mentor of mine, in fact, I think Zig Ziglar also said it, if you build people, people build businesses. What can I do to guide people to the information that will allow them to gain the insights, to gain the skills? And if people know that you've got their best interest at heart, that it's not about you, it's about them. It's about long-lasting relationships. Companies come and go. It just is what it is. We can take a look at different companies that we thought would be around forever. Ultimately, That's one aspect. Then some companies reveal their true character. You know, I like the saying, you never know what's, you know, a person's character, or a company's character, the leadership of a person's character is like a tea bag. You never know what's inside of it until it gets into hot water. You know, for sometimes, you know, we've seen people where we originally met, you know, he built his company on a lie, you know, on a fictitious story. You know, we've seen other owners that have done things that are outside of what our character is. So as we focus on a team, you know, it's like the key element of a team, it's people. If people know that you've always got their best interest at heart, and you know, you're going to develop a large team. If you can help them see that there's a vision for a better future because of the relationship that they're going to have with you, they're going to stick with you, especially if you continually focus on helping them, you know, gaining the insights. That's why I'm always out looking for information that will help people gain the vision, gain the skills, create the success that they're looking for. And if you do that consistently, you're going to develop a team.
Wonderful, wonderful. Boy, Robert, you know, after all these years, I still am always kind of spellbound with your very quiet, gentle nature. How you do what you do. You're like a fog that comes in very quietly, and you change things. I've had these 6 people in network marketing I talked about. Number 1, I think you've heard this, you know, is the customer. Number 2 is the product advocate. Number 3 is the salesperson. Number 4 is the leader. Number 5 is the leader of leaders. And then comes you, number 6, the icon. Somebody like you and Bonnie come into a company and you change everything just by your presence and your influence. So folks that are on this call or watching the recording of it, you don't have to be a loud, crazy, you know, obnoxious person to be very successful. Robert's a very good example of being kind and low key and being focused on who he's working with. And it's just been a joy to have a friendship for all these years. And we talk 3 or 4 times a week. And we're not necessarily working together right now, you know, on a business. But we are always, you know, feeding each other and being real friends. As I alluded to a little earlier, you know a friend by their actions, not by their words so much. And when I was very, very ill in the hospital, Robert would call just about every day. And then when I got home to where I was staying, he sent a whole bunch of products that had to do with cardiovascular health. And now you're talking about a friend, you know, somebody who puts action behind the words. So this is who we're trying to attract in our life, people like Robert Butwin. And what I want to do right now, Robert, if it's okay with you, I'd like to open this up to some questions. Is that okay with you?
Sure, no problem.
Any questions, folks? Katrina, you want to open up the line to anybody who may want to ask Robert a question?
Yeah, actually, I think everyone can unmute themselves when they have a question. I'll be happy to begin with one. So
great.
Robert, it's such a pleasure to have you on the call, and I've already learned so much just in these few moments with you. I really appreciate your perspective and touching on the law of attraction and making that accessible to us, because I agree with you. The movie was very stimulating and opened people's minds up, but there wasn't really the how to do it. And so just having those 5 words has been really, really helpful, especially in the context of building a network marketing business. How much effort and time do you believe is necessary for someone who's just starting out to put to this? How much of a chance do they need to give a new business?
Well, the biggest asset is the biggest liability in our business, which is ease of entry. You know, it's very simple for us to get involved in a business for whatever, $50, a couple $100, $1,000, which relatively to a traditional business is nothing. So as easy as it is to get in, and the ability where people can make the kind of money that they can make in this business, it sometimes brings the wrong element, people that are greedy, or it makes it very easy for people to leave our business. So as far as, you know, the time, that's why it's important to understand why somebody's chosen to do the business, because if you understand their why, you can always anchor them back if and when they're looking at possibly giving up, unfortunately. And many times people will give up on their dreams. By the way, let me make a simple pitch for something that's free. I'm part of what they call the Social Networking Association. You can go to socialnetworkingassociation.com, and from now to July 1st, there is no cost. Otherwise, it's normally $60 a year. You know, one of the things of how I've accomplished the things I've accomplished besides the actions that I've done is plugging into information in association with other people. And this is an association of generic. I'll be one of the trainers. There'll be a variety of other top performers in our profession that will be generically training. The Social Networking Association is run by a guy named Jim Lupkin. Jim Lupkin's written 2 books about how to be more effective on Facebook. He's also, he was very good friends with the guy that started Six Sigma, who's now passed. But, you know, I've known Jim, and I believe, you know, the Social Networking Association used to be the MLMIA, and they're finally gaining some steam. They've got the right leadership. So back to your question, I'm never going to give up to people, but I'm also going to hold people accountable. How much time is it going to take? You know, there's so many different elements that go into answering that question. Parts of it is their desire to be successful, their skill level, their willingness to learn. You know, are they getting people on the phone with you? What's their contacts? You know, this business is about how we leverage resources. Resources come in a variety of different forms. You know, somebody's context is a resource, somebody's money, but money in and of itself isn't going to assure your success. So your life energy, your time that you're investing into the business, you know, again, if others can do it, and a lot of it goes back to your mindset, it's the knowingness. If others can do it, so can you. You know, when I got involved, that was the one thing that kept me going. You know, failure was not a possibility. You know, I started off by reading Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth. And in the book, he talks about 4 out of 5 businesses. And he's not talking about network marketing businesses, because the numbers are even worse probably in network marketing because of the low cost of entry. But he says 4 out of 5 businesses are going to fail in your first 5 years. And he says of the 20% that make it the first 5 years, don't breathe a sigh of relief, because 4 out of 5 of you are going to fail in the next 5 years. And then he goes into the reasons why. He says most people are working in their business, not on their business. They get caught up in the activity trap. So, but what I learned from that, first of all, I'm listening to my self-talk. I says, that's not me. Failure was never an option. And so I was committed, just as you want the people that are in your network, you know, if they're serious about being successful, you need to commit about a balance between doing and growing. You know, you can't just grow, but you've also got, you know, you've got to do the activities, you've got to grow as a human being, and you've got to see yourself breaking through whatever you need to break through. Again, I'm not sure if that answered your question in a roundabout way, but failure was not an option. Giving up was not an option for me.
Definitely. That's very, very helpful, because I think the key there is growing and doing. And it's very easy. I tend to go the growing route and then say, well, I'm not ready yet to do. I need something more to grow into. But Francis has been helping me with that part for sure.
Yeah.
So
And again,
very
that's your
helpful.
self-talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's part of your self-talk, and we've all got that self-talk, and that's why the affirmations, and that's, you know, we're all ready. And again, this is earn as you learn. You know, you learn by doing.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I just want to take a second right now and just acknowledge a couple of other wonderful friends, Robert. Only 26 years of friends. And Katrina and John Notoriani. These people help everybody. They don't care if they gain a penny from it. They're just such good-hearted people, and they've been such dear and precious friends. And I think they think of me as kind of their older special needs brother. I mean, I have special things I need, you know? And so, anyway, all kidding aside, Katrina does so much for so many people, and John, I just want to acknowledge both of them. And also Kathy and Richard Stubbs are just remarkable, remarkable friends and people. So if we could open it up to some more questions for Robert, that'd be great.
So just unmute yourself if you have a question, please.
*6, right, Katrina?
Now you just hit the microphone on your screen.
Oh, okay. I'll make a suggestion. If you guys ever see Robert's going to speak at a seminar or an online thing, I would absolutely encourage you to listen in or watch the seminar, because, like I said, he's a very low-key, wonderful, kind, generous human being who has so much immense wisdom, and he imparts it in such a very gentle way. And so, you know, he's quite a guy. You know, leadership comes in a lot of different styles and a lot of different ways, and he's a powerhouse. He really is. Who else is going to ask Robert a question?
Hi, this is Kathy. I don't really have a
Hey,
question.
Kathy.
Hi. But Robert, I just want to thank you for your perspective, because, you know, we've listened to quite a few successful people in LifeWave at different levels and such, and everybody adds something to it. And what you've added today has been so clear and so very human. And it's just great. Thank you so much for that. And so that's kind of just it's so clear I don't have any questions, but here's Richard.
Hello, Robert. Nice to meet you. One question, because we listen to a lot of people like yourself, and I'm just wondering, what do you do in your spare time or for enjoyment?
Well, before the pandemic, I used to play basketball. You know, hopefully the gyms will be opening up again this week. But, you know, I was, you know, first of all, where we live, I live 2 blocks away from a 5,000 acre reserve. We helped my daughter and her husband buy a house a half a mile from us, so my grandkids are over like every day of the week almost, I think 6 out of 7 days. So, you know, my spare time, besides, you know, growing and figuring out what I can do to help more people create success, you know, I focus on the fact that, and I totally love this business, don't get me wrong, but I sort of realized at the first of this year, before the pandemic, that I was going to be shifting what I was going to do in the business. How could I help more people without having any particular company affiliation? Because quite often, as you've got different company affiliations in relationship to what I was looking to do, it's got limitations. I wanted to help any entrepreneur. So I'm always growing. I'm also focused on my family. It's like I got a plaque from United, I think 2-3 years ago, told me that I went through 2 million miles, and I realized that I wanted to make some adjustments. I mean, I've seen places in the world. If I'm going to travel, I'll be with my wife. I've been very blessed. You know, in fact, I got a funny story. When I first met her, you know, we went on a blind date. She realized that we were never going to probably see each other again until after about 45 minutes into the date. But when I started This was before I got into network marketing. And when I got into network marketing, she was my first customer. Now, she was 5'7" and 120 pounds, and I sold her $750 worth of weight loss products. I think she was buying me, not the products, but we've been happily married and as a really good couple ever since then. So as far as my free time, it's enjoying life and focused on making a difference, a balance. Again, I think everything in life is how we balance the things that are important to us, plus, taking time to smell the roses, so to speak, enjoy life.
And I think that's what we need to concentrate on sometimes. I mean, in a business of, everything's taking our time. We need to stop and pause and look at ourselves. How we enjoying our life?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good, Richard. Anybody else comments? Robert is not in LifeWave. He's just my close dear friend for so many years, who's got so much wisdom, and I have to thank him for taking his time out. He's what you call a real true friend, and he's a guy to follow. Whatever he's doing, how he's doing it, you pay attention to what Robert's doing, and his wife Bonnie. Any other comments or questions you got for Robert?
Hey, Francis, thank you for those kind words. This is John. I'm actually, I think, more your special needs brother than you need, but that's okay.
That's Katrina's husband, John.
Robert, I was just, I really liked what you were saying about the business. You're really helping somebody else succeed. And I was just wondering, when you first communicate with somebody, how do you communicate that what you want is a win-win situation? That by helping them win, that you're going to win also. I mean, what?
Well, first of all, it doesn't happen in the first couple sentences or usually the first couple minutes. How you position yourself is very important. I tell them I'm a successful entrepreneur. Now, first of all, as I say that, everybody on this call can say the same thing. And let me explain why. Success is relative. What's success? You're an entrepreneur. I'm a successful entrepreneur. And as a successful entrepreneur, I'd like to gain a better understanding of where you are, where you plan to go, and how you plan to get there. I want them to open up to me first before I figure out how I'm going to segue into taking that next step, whatever that next step might be. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Do the proper exploration before you segue into a presentation of whatever sort. And how that might be is, say, the company I'm involved with the leverage business model. And it's a company that I've been working with for whatever period of time, or I'm working with a team of other very successful entrepreneurs that are focused on helping other people gain time freedom, gain whatever, if you want to go the product approach or the business approach, either one can work. It depends upon what you're passionate about. But again, one of the key words that I said is balance. I've always been involved with nutritional products, and as being involved with nutritional products, one of the products that most people never talk about is that hope for a better future, which is also health producing in and of itself. I know your product's health producing. So even though you've got a physical product, one of the key things that what we focus on is how we can help people have more hope for the future. And, again, what I said is if people really understood this business, I believe everybody would be involved in it, if nothing else because of the tax benefits. If you're working a job and making money, you need to be involved in a home-based business so that you can take advantage of the tax benefits that come along with being involved in a home-based business. It's understanding that you're there to be of service to the other person. And as you get to, as you ask the right kinds of questions. And, you know, one of the things that I've been doing a lot, and I think I sent Francis the page, I've developed a lot of key information on my Pinterest board about mind-blowing quotes, right questions, the whole 9 things. It's all generic. So you can always go find me on Pinterest. I think it's on Pathway to Wealth or whatever. I sent you my Pinterest board, didn't I, Francis? The link to it? I'm not hearing you.
On that.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said, I'm not on Pinterest right now, but as soon as I am, I'll connect with you on that.
No problem. But I can send you the link for the other people, but I'm just saying there's a lot of good generic,
Sure.
good generic thing. In fact, I was watching Kramer from Mad Money the other day, and he's talking about that he believes that Amazon will end up buying Pinterest. But again, it's like one of the clues that I said, I've got 29,000 plus people on LinkedIn, connections. Now I've only talked to maybe 500 of them, but it's like, there's many different ways if somebody's serious. I mean, there's good lead lists. I haven't had to cold call leads, but I know some people become very good at that. If you're serious about being successful, there's many different methodologies of how you can create the success that you truly want, how you can develop the skill set necessary that will make sure that you can create the success that you deserve and want. Again, it's knowing if others can do it, so can you. Wherever you're at, you can create whatever it is that you want to create.
Robert, you said you got 29,000 people, and didn't you say this morning that they're all at your house right now?
Yeah. No, but I've already talked to one that I met the other day, and I've got somebody else that I'm going to be meeting that's going to talk to me about a technology that might help entrepreneurs. But again, before I would even endorse a technology, I have to verify that it works. I'm not interested in promoting or endorsing anything until I know that it really works.
Yeah. That's called
Robert, we have
integrity.
one more question from Christine. Christine, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to thank you, Robert. I was impressed with your 5 magic words. I wanted to expand a little bit on your, number 4. Could you expand a little bit about number 4?
Your action, the actions
Yes.
in the, definitely. For example, let's say you want to lose weight and you're eating 5 meals a day with huge portions. That's not the action necessary that's going to allow you to lose weight. Let's say you want to be making $50,000 a month in the program you're working with, and you only talk to one person a month. Chances of you getting there are very slim. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to happen, but the actions have to be congruent with what you want to attract into your life, whatever that is. It's like when I met my wife, who at the time wasn't my wife, and even though I really wasn't necessarily looking to, because I just got done running a nightclub and I was 33, and even though I always knew I wanted to get married someday, I wasn't looking to meet somebody, but my actions were, I put an ad in the personals, and it ended up leading to how I met her, and we've been life partners ever since. So you've got to have some kind of actions that are congruent with what it is that you really want in your life.
Okay. And I really enjoyed you saying to go deeper in the exploration and perhaps really find out their why before you really show them the presentation to see if they have a why.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to thank Katarina, because she's always very generous with me and my team. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any more questions? Francis, do you want to make some closing comments?
I was just going to comment on Robert's when he was talking about different people, like that person who wants to lose weight, but they eat 5 huge meals a day. That person has a weight problem. They can't wait to eat. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, I'm sorry. Rim shot, please.
I've known you long enough. I get your sense of humor, and it's good. It's always, you never know what Francis is. Part of his character is he loves to have people laugh.
Yeah, we've been laughing for a lot of years, haven't we, Robert?
We have, definitely.
Yeah. And I think that's a good. I think that's a good icebreaker with people. If you have that gift, like I'm very playful. I like to play. When I'm with Katrina and John, or Kathy and Richard, or with you and Bonnie, we're laughing all the time.
Yep.
Because to me, life is about play. You have to have fun, and I like to play. By the way, you brought up that tax write-off thing. That's very interesting if you have a regular job. And when you go out for meals or movies or a plane trip, whatever, that could also be a write-off for you in your home-based business.
Definitely.
For instance, Katrina and John, they spend about $30,000 a month on Indian food, and so they could probably write that off.
Well, a percentage of it. One of the things I learned a long time ago, and I can close it up on this. We all have 2 B days, a birthday and a box day, and in between there's a dash. The bottom line is, what is your life really about? And part of what drives me is, how do you create a legacy life? I don't expect you to answer that, but to me, a legacy life is making a positive difference in other people. The more people I can make a positive difference in, that way I know that I lived a fulfilled life. And that's what really drives me, is to leave a legacy based on the fact that I did the best that I could in relationship to my knowledge level, and I made a positive difference in other people's lives.
Wonderful, Robert. And I don't know how to thank you, but I'll just say the words thank you, because wherever you go, you sprinkle a little bit of gold dust, and you do it very quietly and gently, and people really appreciate you. You are loved by many, and please give my best to Bonnie, and I guess we're going to sign off, and I want to thank everybody who's been on the call today. Thanks so much, and thanks again to Robert Butwin.
Take care, guys and ladies.
Thanks.